Hello traders, this is DAX week, recap video for Tuesday, April the 9th, and this was the situation at 8:11. As you can see, market testing the Thursday low zone, the same zone from which we could have a good long yesterday, but they didn't test it. They tested that zone today, and I said that we have two very constructive sessions. Friday 57, Monday 65 points only. That current 8-year dropped to 130 point. Always good to know these values in assessing the market moves, where it could end and where could you expect exhaustion in some kind of normal market activity. So where you observe, when you observe a sustained momentum and market that is just slamming through the zones, then you cannot really rely on the 8-year, but on these kind of neutral days it is very useful to watch it. And also I said that we must observe now after the open, is market going above this yesterday low, so inside this yesterday range or not, and above that did we have this yesterday RTH high zone. And note that RTH levels and reference carry more weight and are more important than pre-market levels and references. I said that market is likely to stay contained between these two zones on inside the range, because market that is waiting for ECB conference and FOMC meeting minutes is unlikely to make a big move in front of those news, unlikely to do that one day before those kind of news. So let's observe now the charts and what was our opportunities for today. So if you can trade pre-market session, then around 8:30 this was a long for you from the Thursday low zone. Pre-market low was there, and before the open you can put all of these references to your chart. So this is here the open, and before open you can draw yourself a channel, place pre-market high, pre-market low right near the open, and observe where the previous cash close is, where this zone is. So from this here point, if you're taking long, logical and obvious place for you to close the trade is next zone to close here at the gap fill. So to expect a market to make a gap fill, and it did, but it is the trade only for those who can trade pre-market session. As you know, in recap videos I pay much more attention to the regular trading hours. It was started from here, so this line is 9 AM, and now market is opening here, goes directly to the top of the yesterday low zone. Near we have previous cash close, pre-market high that is 1 point above or 2 above previous cash close, and the top of this channel. So cluster of resistance here, a good enough reason for us to attempt a short here. But note that this zone, yesterday low zone, is in the middle of this range, and as time goes by, time is not your ally, because as time goes by, you are in the middle of the zone, and market could go either way, and it is balancing here in the zone. Instead of giving you a reaction, it is balancing here. So it's up to you. Are you going to close this trade, scratch it, close and break even, or scratch it with some plus 2 points, minus 2 points, doesn't really matter, or you are going to be stubborn, let's say, and hold it? If you are going to hold this trade in this period of time, so you always looking, thinking what could happen. You observe that you are in the middle of the zone. This is a cluster of resistance, but price action is not really promising. Now you could just move your stop closer, and instead of risking full 1 hour, you can risk just half of 1 hour and not allow this trade to be a full loser. And after you observe this movement into the zone, and especially after you observe that market really don't want to go higher, because not all traders could get the feel in on this candle, on touch of the zone. Not all traders are going to short when they look a candle like this. And here the market is struggling around yesterday RTH high, and note that the top of this zone is 12k, and yesterday there was no movement above 12k. Everything was below, so this is really a good resistance, and now that is additional opportunity for us. And if you took a loss here, now you can not only get that half an hour, but you can get a good profit out of it. But at this time here, you really don't know that the market is going to go all the way to here. You don't know that. You can hope for it, but you cannot know that. And in this time here, when around 1 o'clock, it would be a good thing for you to close a half or 1/3 or close something, you know, here, because the market is here 1 o'clock. Now we are asking ourselves that famous question: okay, do we have a high of the day or do we have the low of the day? And if this is low of the day, this here, that could mean that market could just bounce from this zone. They broke above, now tested it again, it could act as support, and now it could get a bounce to here. But that is one scenario. And the other scenario is, if this is the high of the day, then it could go all the way down to the main support. And now you don't really know what is going to be out of this too. The down scenario, if you are going to watch the higher time frames and looking this channel and this overbought condition, all of those could have, you know, more odds. But in this period of time you don't know that, and that is why, in my opinion, it's good for you to close something, to not get a break even out of it if the market goes the other way. And now when you observe this, again, similar situation like this, balancing, break. Now they are balancing at the top of the zone and at the top of the pre-market high, and of course previous cash close is already filled by this move, so it doesn't represent here nothing much. But now this here, and then boom, through the yesterday low. Now this zone acts as resistance, and this here is your additional alternative way to jump into this short train, looking now for next zone or to the main support zone. And those who are shorted here, closed partially or holding, whatever, and those people that are used alternative plays to go on a pullback, broken support that now acts as resistance, could provide you a move to the downside, at least to pre-market low. But in this period of time you can also observe that the market here by this movement went below this opening candle. So market opened here, market opened here. Now they are negating this entire move, all of this, and going below, and in this period of time you could conclude that market would likely make a lower low, because here they didn't even stop at this low that was made in the pre-market. And now you have every right in the world to expect a market to go to these lower zones, to test this zone and this zone. Of course, closing the trade is above the zone, front running the zone. And on first test of the main support, of course, long entry here. But once you observe this kind of price activity, price action that is looking like a bear flag, and when you make yourself a fib retracement of this move, you could expect in this period of time when you're entering long that market, when they drop the full 8-year move into the support, so market exhausted into main support, school book long, but it really didn't provide much, because a good long would be at least 38.2 retracement in confluence with the Thursday low zone and with the pre-market low. Look how good of a confluence we have here as a target for this trade, but we are not getting it, and again time is running, nothing is happening. So you could just, take that 25 points or 20 points, and run for the hills, because this is not what you want to see here on this main support. They have defended it for now, but look at this. Now it's 7:20 p.m. They're again here, and now this move depends of the move that US market is going to make. So this was the RTH session range. They got above it, now below it. So we shall see what is going to happen here. But this weak bounces from main support isn't really what the buyers would like to see. And for tomorrow, maybe these two gaps here that I was talking about in the previous morning notes could come in play. And that is it for this edition of DAX recap videos. So plenty of opportunities for day, a much better day than yesterday and Friday, and tomorrow we will get another morning notes and updated support and resistance zones.